This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Well, good morning and thank you very much for sticking around to Good Morning Uganda. This is UBC. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. I have Robert Chirabo here with me this morning, as we are definitely going to take you through a conversation for the next minutes of your time. And we are glad to have your company wherever you're catching us from. Thank you very much. Well, I want to believe some of you have been able to observe the military who are on the roads, or the military officers who have been deployed on the road. Now, what we do know so far is that the military police has been deployed, and I think it kicked off just last week after the orders of the Chief of Defense Forces, that is General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who, amongst many things, is aiming at restoring, discipline and order within high-ranking officials within the country, also those who are attached to the Uganda military or the UPDF. And when it comes to this, he ordered the arrest of army drivers and their guards, as well as State House staff members and other high-ranking officials who have been floating traffic rules with impunity. Of course, many videos have been making rounds on social media where you see a high-level car, or what I could say, an official's car, beating the traffic rules, trying to go past a different lane. And then others have also been seen passing via the islands of the roads on highways, trying to get into a lane that is not supposed to be the lane they are using, especially for those who are trying to beat time because of different appointments that they do have. Now, this is something that has sparked off different dissatisfaction from many of the road users who feel that many of these particular high-end officials are using their power in the wrong way. So that is why I have Robert Chirabo with me this morning, as we are to break down this particular directive and of what importance it will have in the long run, and how far can we go as a country to ensure that at least traffic guidelines are highly maintained and highly monitored within the country. Robert, good morning once again.
Lovely morning, young lad. How are you?
I'm doing okay. And I was observing this on my way to work every morning. That is something that you can observe around Mbuya. That is Mbuya Chinawataka lane. Then there is also another one as you're heading to Jinja Road. No, as you're heading to Chireka. Then there is one other around Luboa. I think you've been able to observe that
the one around
and then there are also other various spots where the military police has been heavily deployed. But if you're to look at it, why this move, or why this directive from the CDF?
Well, first, I want to thank the CDF for this move, because this should have been done yesterday. Now, first we must understand why the army, and I want to stick myself more on the army because it comes out by the CDF, and later we saw the deputy spokesperson of the UPDF, Kanodo Akiki, giving more to this. Now, Uganda People's Defense Forces, the UPDF, when you go back to its history as the NRA, its strength was not so much on tactics of fighting. Neither was it so much on the power of weapons. The forces we see today, their strength was on discipline. Because Ugandans had seen an army that was unruly, that was very indisciplined. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, by then, who could have been referred to as a rebel by the government then, him and many others knew that they will cling on discipline to propel their desires to rescue Uganda from where the country was. So the biggest pillar of this army today is discipline. Now, and Ugandans will tell you that when you meet UPDF, you know you're meeting a peaceful force, a professional force, and you're safe. Some will say, I wish I can whisper this, that meeting a roadblock of UPDF and meeting one of Uganda police, I would meet 1,000 of UPDF than one of Uganda
Someone has
police.
mentioned that this morning. They've actually told me that if at all you find the traffic police, they will even arrest you for things that do not add up. But the military police know very well what they are looking for, and they are so specific on their enforcement.
That's why I think it was on Sunday I was going to Entebbe, someone was driving me, and I asked, what is happening? I'm seeing jam. He said, there's a military roadblock. I just told them, let's proceed. Because they are disciplined. They are on purpose. Now, the CDF, having noticed these incidents, when he says, let's work on errant army officers, we've had nasty scenes previously. Just last year, who is going to forget Robert Mukebezi, a police officer in Ntinda, who was shot by UPDF soldier. In the upper leg, actually, it was amputated because a UPDF car had been involved in an accident. So they brought a breakdown to tow it. I think the occupants felt it wasn't good. They never wanted the car to be taken to, I think, Ntinda police station. So there was a scuffle. Now, one fired in space, the other hit the police officer in the leg. Who will forget the incident? It was at Chibuye here, where we saw Herbert Kamukama arrested for allegedly pulling out a pistol on a traffic officer to shoot at him. We have a traffic officer who once got a slap by a general. So, there have been, and who in Uganda has not witnessed an army car moving in a wrong lane, overtaking anyhow?
There was a video around Ginger Road where the army car apparently had to even pass through the island, that island on the highway, and then turn to the different lane, a lane that was bringing vehicles to Kampala while he was heading to Jinja. So you can only imagine.
So we've had this indiscipline of army cars on the road, people driving them anyhow, violating traffic rules, but also we've had weaknesses in enforcement. That's why now, let the military police traffic department handle their own. In Buganda we say, traffic officers have had their own test when it comes to enforcing, where it includes military officers. Two, who hasn't seen this way of intimidation? You find someone is driving a car, he's in layer. And on the seat, the driver's seat, there's a military jacket. Someone is dressed the wire, but he has a military jacket to signal you. When a traffic officer stops him, he looks at this jacket just to let him know nti siri mwangu. You know? So, the core and the fundamental strength of UPDF, this indiscipline on the roads, was taking Ugandans back and tainting the image of UPDF. Because you had known, when you see an army car, give way. They don't sit in jam. And that's why I want to commend one unique general that I've witnessed for a long time. Retired General Ivan Koreta. I was staying in an area where he stays sometime. But every time I would see this man in traffic jam. And one time, by the grace of God, I had him on set. And I asked him, but General, I've never had a siren, yet we take the same route. And of course, we take Koreta Uyo, you know, Ugandans. Koreta. So I picked interest. This man stands in jam. His escorts don't go off to bulldoze everybody. He told me, Robert, everyone wakes up to go and work. I'm not different from them. I respect them. But how many of those do we have that wait patiently in jam because they're late? Because the Traffic and Road Safety Act is very clear. People who have right of way, the president, the vice president, emergency vehicles, that is the ambulance, or those in operations. We have the Speaker of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. We have the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, and any other that the Minister of Works and Transport may grant permission. may grant permission, and you must have satisfied the minister to give you a special accord to why you have right of way. So the rest don't. Now, to build back that relationship between the public, because roads are one of the things that you can easily see in discipline. Because today, it is unheard of, or if it happens, it is a criminal, that you're going to see a UPDF soldier, so you're moving, pull out a gun and say, give me your property. That can't happen. If it happens, it is a crime they'll follow up. So there, the image is being held properly. But now on the roads, that's where we've been having a challenge. And this is restoring the confidence, is rebuilding that image that yes, indeed, UPDF is a professional army, a very disciplined army.
Okay. And of course, as we move into this kind of conversation, Chirabo, looking into some of these cases, we've had, scenarios where we've had even other government officials, or even ex-government officials, or those who have contacts, which is actually a very common trait lately, whereby someone has a contact, or what you could say a gamba nogu in government, and then they do not have number plates, but they are on the road. They have tinted glasses, and even if the traffic officer tries to stop them, they never mind. So as we're looking into this directive, first from your perspective, do you think it was the right approach to have the military police on ground? Then two, what should we do after this is done? Because I don't expect the military police to be here for the entire year doing the same thing. It is here to restore the order so that order prevails. But then afterwards, what do we do to ensure that this is sustainable and there is discipline instilled?
Well, first we must understand, what are these people looking out for? When you meet this roadblock, what are they looking out for? They are looking out first for those driving military vehicles in a bad, careless manner. That if a roadblock is in Lubowa, it has been mounted in Lubowa, if you're driving foolishly or recklessly because you're in this car, then they are alerted. So-and-so is coming, he's beating lights, he's doing this. The roadblock is at a point where you're stopped and told, hey, you've been doing this. Park that car. So bad driving, careless driving, they're looking out for that. Two, who is driving this car? It's a UPDF vehicle. Who is the driver in this UPDF vehicle? I remember there was an accident and one of the UPDF vehicles belonging to a high-ranking officer was involved, and the person who was driving the car was not an army officer. I was watching some clip where a UPDF vehicle is shown dropping a daughter for prom or bringing someone for prom with all the swag, but the number is not even covered. And the driver of that car was not a UPDF officer. So these vehicles have been in wrong hands. Captain or whatever sonko, you give your car to your son. Remember, when this car is moving, whatever an accident, anything it is involved in, drunken driving, maybe you're staggering, someone looking will say, look at a UPDF car. The army, look how low they have. So they are looking out, is it the right person driving it? Two, this vehicle having a number plate of UPDF, is it a UPDF vehicle? We've had people, I say I'm on leave, maybe I have a car. Someone removes the number plate, puts on his funny car, begins terrorizing the village, moving around.
Even with the sirens, eh?
Even with us, no, these ones have just been having number plates, but some also having sirens. Now what happens, I'll say, Sonko, maybe it's for CMI. Know those things.
And I will definitely.
You go back to your village, you start, because you're having this car. You're getting number plates belonging to a UPDF car, now putting them on your car. And you begin terrorizing people, because Ugandans are funny. Sonko, I just see you in that car. Then I'll conclude that guy is a CMI, he's an operative, and you also grow wings and begin, and at the end of the day, the illegalities you're involved in tarnish the name of UPDF. So they're looking out at that, and that is also helping URA. I want to tell you, fellow Ugandans, we've seen so many cars, or a number of cars, that have UPDF number plates. They have not paid tax. Someone gets a car, nakubaka ekinamba ky'amagye. Wherever they get it, or he's a police, I don't know. And he drives now. URA is missing this tax. Have you seen cars that you're sure government does not purchase them, but they either have Ministry of Defense number plates, or they have UPDF number plates? I don't believe UPDF buys Primos Limited. Haven't you seen many?
Yeah.
If the media is allowed in this operation, you're going to see there are vehicles, you see, fellow Ugandans, there are vehicles government buys. Unless there's an emergency, but institutions as ministries,
Even the
they'll buy double cabins.
Exactly.
They'll buy these high-end Land Cruisers. They may buy lorries.
It's an
they may buy
SUV kind of
Costas.
things that they look
Yeah,
at.
this is what they buy. You see a Paso. Kaliko number yamaji. You know? When did the government purchase a Paso? When did UPDF purchase a Paso? Then also you see this ML. What do you call this? You love that car very much.
The Formatic, Brabus.
Brabus. With a Ministry of Defense number plate. Automatically, who was government buying that for? Because you know the nature of vehicles they buy for VIPs. Who was UPDF buying that car for? Range Rover Sport, model 2020, 2022. Having these number plates. So this operation will help curb those, because at the end of the day, whatever you do in that vehicle tarnishes the name of UPDF. So there will be tax recovery. They will rebuild the image of UPDF. They will fight impunity by people who masquerade because they have access to these things. Someone is driving a car. They have army uniform. They are driving. Leave alone put. Now, when you stop them in the back seat, intimidating people, intimidating the traffic officers. Now, traffic officers will have the power because they have a backup. That's why if you notice at this roadblock, you'll see that traffic police is around also. So that where a traffic officer would fear being shot in the leg, would fear slaps, would fear these intimidations and all that. Now, there is a UPDF officer there who will say, stop, identify yourself, you're driving a UPDF car. Then they will look and say, okay, maybe they find out this number plate is on which car. No. This number plate belongs to a double cabin. It is on a Primor. Explain. Park. Then you have to explain this crime. At the end of the day, we won't see people misusing army properties when they are not, or even those that are misusing them for impunity purposes.
Okay, and now let's look into what this means to the ordinary Ugandan. Because first, the public has highly appreciated the CDF for this move, because many of the road users were not happy that some of the military officials have been kind of beating around with the traffic rules and going away like as if nothing has happened. And they've been treating it as a normal kind of setting on their side. So when you look at it from the perspective of the local Ugandan, if at all now the top-ranking army officials are going to be dealt with, or those who are misusing the uniform to clearly to paint a different picture of what the UPDF is out in the public, these are people who are going to be punished today, henceforth. But when you look at the Ugandans, the other road users, we also have those who are actually misusing the roads.
And the musicians are among those that top the list.
Celebrities or someone who thinks they're owning a better car than the rest. So they feel they have the authority to beat the traffic rules. Others don't even stop when the traffic officers raise a hand to stop them and check if they have everything necessary. So when it comes to the local Ugandan, what next?
Now, when you see the chief of the village paying tax, you know, there were days of graduated tax. I never paid it, but I don't know if you were born by then. However, I saw people being arrested. They used to use ropes. My father was taking me to school because they had failed to pay graduated tax. Now, when a village chief pays tax, you are an ordinary person. You must be the first online the next day. If you are seeing a move to curb indiscipline, soldiers, high-profile people, then what about you, the ordinary person? One, this is giving strength now to UPD, to the traffic police, because like I said, not all the people who are carrying out this indiscipline on roads that we think are military personnel are actually soldiers. Some could be sons and daughters. I know the story of a high-ranking officer. He went to be with the Lord, but one time he gave his vehicle to a girlfriend, and it was impounded. The girlfriend was even a journalist. Now, some of the people, actually, I stand to be corrected, but you may find that about 55% of people who have been driving badly on our roads, insulting police officers, doing all these funny things, are not members of UPDF. Because the members of the force know the value of discipline and respect to the wananchi. I've been able to interact with very many senior UPDF officers. I've hung out with a number of them. Some are my good friends. But let me tell you, Sonko, one of the things they like is discipline. I'll talk of a man like Kulaije. When you're with Kulaije, be very disciplined. Be very humble to the wananchi. The late General Eri Tumwine. Discipline was something you fronted. And that sometimes even when you're oppressed, you would not call him. Because you knew. He would tell you, I know you, but this is the right thing to do. Now, you may find that many of these funny things we see, their sons, their daughters, their friends, their girlfriends, their in-laws, that General so, Captain so, have driven his car. Now, because I'm not what he is, I want to portray that image. This is my in-law, this is my relative, or I want to masquerade. I'm in security. You know, we have a number of security agencies, and some of these guys are in layer. They operate in casual clothes. So it is very easy to think someone is. No? So some of these, we are going to see them reduce because those that have been committing them now know, if I drive so-and-so's car, I may land in a roadblock. I'll first put him in trouble. Two, I'll also be in trouble. Because when you're stopped at this roadblock, you're driving a car of UPDF, you're not a member of UPDF. Believe you me, you're in great trouble.
And Cherabo, you know, we've tried to compare the two security bodies, the traffic officers or the traffic police, and then the military police, on how the two do their things. You've highly put out the fact that the UPDF is highly driven on discipline.
Discipline.
Now, when you look at how the traffic officers handle road users on the road, especially on the roadblocks, you do realize that at times they never handle the other specific officials that the military are looking for, which is also a big concern by the road users. That the way, okay, obviously you cannot treat a high-level official the same way you treat, let's say, a Sonko who is driving on the road. You'll definitely have, there will definitely be differences on how you treat them. But there are situations where even the high-level official or the driver to the high-level official or to the military officer is not meeting the standards of a driver or is not following the rules and regulations that are put in place on the road. And in such situations, what then can the traffic officers learn from how the military officers do their things or do their work?
One, high level of professionalism. That military officers, the military police of Uganda has a traffic department. And even before mounting these roadblocks on some highways, you've been seeing people in UPDF uniform with white. They are military officers, but with white arms, and they are helping in traffic. Now, professionalism is what they have to learn first. Two, integrity. Integrity. These officers are on these roadblocks, but how many of us are passing there every day uninterrupted? Because they are professional enough, they know what they have come to do. They are looking out for that. Their aim is not money. Their aim is purpose why they are there. I don't want to believe that a UPDF soldier earns thrice a policeman gets. Still, they all live with a humble salary. Of course, this budget, we've seen some good news for them. Now, integrity is one of the things they have to learn. Two, being professional. And because of the integrity, UPDF has developed respect. We do not respect a UPDF soldier because he has a gun or he can shoot at you anytime. Because even police officers have that. But we respect them because of the integrity they have. That's why I'll tell you, if I'm walking at night and I meet about 12 soldiers moving, I'm on foot, I'll peacefully pass through them. They will look at me. They're very professional. By just looking at you, they know he has no problem. Then you will go. Even if there are these young boys with hair and all that, they'll look at them, assess, even from a distance, that this person is not harmful. And you pass through them. Brother, meet police officers. They will stop you. They'll ask 1,000 questions. One may even politely say to you, you know, give us something that will let you go. Or one would tell you, I remember during COVID-19 at Chibuye, there's some police officer, and I marked him, he's called Menji. I think Menji or Menja. Some fat guy there, he puts on the field force unit. Now, we had allowances to travel, to move during COVID-19. We had the
media tags.
The media tags and everything. Now, I come on my big bike. I was coming to do a show because the president was going to speak that very day. Menji stops me. I stop. He tells me, where are you going? You're on a motorbike. I told him, I'm going to work. That is my media tag. This is my tag. And I said, please, I'm late. Let me go. I've explained myself to you. He says, Menji. He said, I'm not letting you go. Give me something. I told him, brother, I'm going to work. He said, no, I'll delay you. He said, no, what? I said, I don't argue with such people. I got off my motorbike. He took it to the police inside Chibuye petrol station, police station. Now I went to the DPC's office. I introduced myself. The DPC came, told him, Menji, give this one his bike. And the man said, you know, I went, but I wasn't willing to give any money because it was foolish for me to do that. I was setting a long precedent.
Yes.
Now, that you can't find with UPDF. So police must learn. People will respect you. We respect UPDF today because of the conduct they have given themselves. They have portrayed to us. Can police emulate this for once because they are working with them? And to me, it's even a fear. You know, bad character corrupts good behavior. Whenever I see our UPDF work closely with Uganda police force, I get worried. And in COVID time, I got worried.
No, the good thing will be, the beauty is...
because there was a time when the command, is it called command chain or rank and file, something like that, that they used to be under one command. So I was scared that by the time we leave these COVID operations,
the police would have...
want these bad habits. Because police, they are very good people in Uganda police. Recently I was in Jinja.
Okay.
And I want to commend the DPC Jinja. I've forgotten his name. The DPC Jinja police station. He's some tall guy. Young man, I want to commend him. I saw high level of professionalism. There's a document we wanted. I said, bring the document. It is the only office I've gone to. And you bring the document, the person stamps the document, he says, let me go and meet this group and brief them, because we were bikers, we had gone for domestic tourism and all that. He met the group driving his fuel. He never asked for a token. He made everything very fast, very swift. I said, hey, we have such men in police. You know, Sonko, you call him, you take the document, he reads through, he stamps it, you get the permission, he comes and says, let me meet the group, drives his fuel, meets the group, DPC Jinja. I just couldn't imagine, because I've worked with police in my line as a journalist, but there are gaps I've seen. However, they're also perfect people in police, good people in police, I must say. So let's copy that. That time these operations are going to last. Integrity, because a person, when you have integrity, you command respect. 2, professionalism. If you've come to look for people who do not have driving licenses, you know, and third party, if a person has a driving license, has third party,
why are you asking for money then?
For money. I want to give you an example. We see border operations. But you'll ask a border person, not that I'm defending them. They should have these requirements. But someone will tell you, even if you have them,
they will still stop you.
Bana basajja nga bakimye ssente bo namulaga permit ajja kusaba third party. Bona byonna obirina ngadda ku mipiira. Era ne bwoba byonna obirina bajja kukwata. Have been able to go and rescue some. When you take the high rank, say, give him his motorcycle. So can we emulate, can we copy from the other sister agency the high level of professionalism?
Let's talk about sustainability of this particular directive, because it's a good directive, and like I did mention, I don't expect, I may be wrong, but I don't expect the UPDF or the military police to be on the roads till the end of the year. For as long as they're on the road, everything might be on order or might be put to order. Then what is going to happen after they've left? What should we do? Because at least the beauty about citizen journalism is that the Ugandans have done their part, especially those who have been recording some of these clips when these things are happening in real time, and they've been sharing and tagging different government bodies to ask, why are these people driving recklessly on the roads? Why do they feel entitled and feeling like they are untouchable on the roads where we all, the taxpayers, utilize? So as we are moving into a phase, given there is no further supervision, what advice would you give to not only the ordinary citizens, but then also to some of our government officials, and then on top of it, the military officers who end up using their positions in the wrong way?
Well, first, if you didn't know that what you're doing is wrong, now you know. Because certain things may seem common, but they are not common.
True.
Someone may be thinking that because I'm this, then I have all these rights. Now the CDF has come out and you've seen that people are being arrested for behaving in a manner that you think is your right by virtue of having their uniform, by virtue of having connections, by virtue of cheating revenue and all this. So now you've learned. But also, I hope and pray that the bad apples during this operation are wiped out. Of course, you can't have total clearance, but at least the numbers reduce. And it sends, you know, in life, one thing I've learned, setting precedent is something very important in fighting criminality. Early morning, we talked about corruption.
True.
I want to tell you, if we want to fight corruption in Uganda, you don't need to arrest very many people, Sonko. Arrest, in Uganda here, arrest, prosecute about 20 people in corruption scandals to the latter. Do you know what that does? It sends a message. If so and so has been found guilty and sentenced to 20 years, sentenced to 10 years imprisonment,
Then that means I'm no exception.
then for us, the low rankers, we do not. So this, if done properly, is going to set a precedent that, you don't just bulldoze and get away. If commander so, if colonel, if captain, if lieutenant, if major, if whatever, faced this a demotion, disciplinary action, then you are junior, you respect that. So I believe this will send a precedent. It can't be continuous. And not only to UPDF, even the ordinary citizens, other high-profile people, that, hey, this is wrong. Two, it can land you in big trouble because you never know. They could institute abrupt checkpoints, abrupt, and you're nabbed still having that number plate. Maybe you survive this option. You're nabbed having your jacket to intimidate everyone because this had never been, now it is there. So to me, I believe even if it comes to an end, they will sometimes have these prompt checkpoints, like we have those of drunken driving. There are times when you think Kaunyemu went, only to wake up and the thing is there in a certain corner and you don't survive. The DPC of that area felt we should carve Kaunyemu and you don't survive it. So these may still happen impromptu, abruptly, but still they have sent a message. If the media is allowed, and the UPDF, I know the spokesperson, Felix Kulaije, the deputy, are very friendly to the media. If you have culprits that they can disclose to send a message that so-and-so was driving a car belonging to this person, and we nabbed him, so-and-so had a jacket, so-and-so had a uniform. So these send a message and set precedent that this is a crime handled and you suffer for having committed it. So it will deter many.
Okay. And of course, our conversation this morning has been geared around the fact that the CDF, this is General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, ordered deployment of the military police on the roads of the country in order to fast track the bad record of drivers that we are having, especially from the military drivers, and of course some of the State House officials who end up using different lanes or also making bad use of their roles as high-level individuals in the country, and then setting a bad precedent ahead of or before the Ugandans, which is not something that we ideally would wish for some of us as a country. But then besides that also, you get to realize that many of the Ugandans have highly welcomed this initiative or this directive by the CDF to ensure that we have order and discipline on the different roads in the country. And then we will definitely be having a peaceful country, especially for the road users, so that we can all comfortably enjoy the roads that we have in the country. I've been with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, trying to break down what this means for the ordinary Ugandan and what this also implies to the other high-ranking officials in the country who think they will definitely beat all the traffic rules in order to safely reach their different destinations at the expense of other road users. Till tomorrow, we shall be back from 6:30 a.m. with the entire team for Good Morning Uganda. So make it a deal to wake up with us every single Monday to Friday. I am Joram Paul Sonko with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and wish you a good day and a good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good